Naona umerudi. I see you are back. Well, now that you are back again, let's continue. Genesis chapter 34 verse 2. Genesis chapter 34 verse 2. Genesis chapter verse 34 verse 2. That one we covered just the other time. Genesis chapter 38 verse 6 to 30. Now, you are very lucky today, because today you are going to learn something called Onanism. Oh, excuse me. Genesis chapter 36 verse 6 to 30. I'm going to read it all, then I will explain. And hopefully you can get some lessons out of this. Tamar, wife of Er. And Judah took a wife for Er, his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Judah took a wife for Er. Er did not take the wife. Judah took a wife for Er, his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Judah played a role for Tamar to be betrothed or to wife Er. Verse 7. And Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. Now, that's a very fast verse. Very fast. Although there's no record of what Er did to deserve to be killed by God. And Er, Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. So he personally killed him because of his wickedness. Now remember, Er and Tamar are now one in chapter 38 of Genesis verse 6. So when Er is dead, Tamar and Er were one, but now Tamar is alone. Although if both were married, they would have the same ideologies. I hope I'm making some sense here. Now, and Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. This is pretty much self-explanatory, and it happens in most African cultures, where if a guy dies, then the brothers can come and take charge, or rather take the wife and continue to procreate in the same manner. Verse 9. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. I'm amazed by the fact that we are talking about, or rather the Bible is talking about seed, and the fact that we are talking about procreation. So that will form a very good basis of my teaching today. Seed. So, and verse 9 says, And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. So here, Onan does two things that are not good in the sight of God. And I wonder, here Onan does two things. And this is the direction given to him by the Father. I do pray for you who are fathers, old of age, and like, be of good counsel, so that you can know what God wants and what God dislikes and hates. Learn it through the whole text that we are calling the Bible, so that when you're giving advice to your offspring, to your generations which are coming, you give them good advice. So here, Onan does two things. Onan commits something we call fornication stroke adultery. In the sense, because now it can be adultery, it can be fornication, it can be incest in those perspectives. Because here Tamar and Er were one. This is the wife of the brother. Okay. So there's that part which you want to look at it, which is a bit gross in its sense. Alright. Now then there is this other part where Onan now decides, I will not bear children with Tamar. And then what does he do? We will read it again because it's the Bible. It's in the text that you already have with you. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass when he went in unto his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground. Where? On the ground. Lest that he should give seed to his brother. On the ground. Lest that he should give seed to his brother. Verse 10. Now, and the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. This is why I'm going to pause there and expound on this a bit. And the reason why God killed, and this first of all, you need to understand that is where we are getting this word onanism. Where onanism is this act that Onan does, and it's the one I've seen here mentioned in the Bible where someone has spilled seed on the ground. So this second thing is the one that makes him to be killed. Why? Because were it not for seed, then there would not be Cain and Abel. Were it not for seed, then there would not be Noah. Were it not for seed, then there would not be Abraham. Then there would not be Isaac. Then there would not be Jacob or Esau. And then there would not be the descendants of Esau, descendants of Jacob, descendants of Noah and the other three children, descendants of Judah. So Judah here, so the seed that is being spilled, let me just read it as it is. The seed that is being spilled in the ground is life. It is an element of creation from God. The thing displeased God because this guy called Onan, where we get the word onanism, decides to forego or to interfere with the process of creation. You see, you are all grown-ups. Let me just, again, this is a matter of grown-ups. And unfortunately, young people know about this because of the exposure to pornography and all that. So let me not lose my trail. my trail of thought as I reveal this to you. So now, as we are reveal this together, Onan does something that is very, 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 very dangerous. He interferes with the process of procreation and creation, the process of bringing a human being to life. Okay, and this process began he could have said no. No. Now look at it very clearly before we proceed from that. He could have decided to reject the proposal from Judah, but he didn't. Why? Tamar did seduce. Both of them are in the same homestead, in the same area. So there's that lust that is with Onan towards Tamar, the wife of the firstborn brother. Now see that element of lust, okay? So the minute the first one was dead, there was the last element, okay? Had it not been weird, Judah would have done something about it as at now. But the lady was a bit young, presumably, but it's not recorded in terms of age, okay? As at now. So there was the element of lust between Onan and Tamar. So he accepted to sleep with Tamar as per the directions of the father, who is Judah. So now he accepted. Okay, should he have refused, then this onanism, act of onanism would not have happened. But he accepted. Okay, if he had refused, he would still be alive. So he decides to go ahead, and the minute you decide to proceed to the next level, which is now of becoming one, so both of them now become one. But what does it do? It doesn't complete the process. He decides to spill the seed on the ground. This is the authority that is given by God, as God says clearly, in the first Genesis chapter 1, 26, 28 there, when it says multiply and fill the earth. It's an authority that we are given to procreate. So listen to this carefully. It's the authority to procreate. So Onan decides to overrule or disrespect the authority to multiply and abuses the authority to multiply by spilling the seed on the ground. So he does not complete the whole act of the whole circle. He breaks away halfway. Okay, now this one prompts something, and the thing which he did displeased the Lord. Immediately it displeases God immediately. And what happens next? Wherefore he slew him also. Then God kills Onan immediately. So Onan now is dead. The best thing we have from Onan is the word Onanism, which lives to death. Alright? Did Onan give birth? Did Tamar and Onan give birth? No. Onan is dead. So Tamar is alive. Onan is dead. Now let's pause there for a minute. Tamar is alive. Onan is dead. Okay. So now let's look at what Onan. Okay. Now, before we even proceed with that part, I want to show you something very interesting. Let us read. Now let us understand what made Onan to die, as we've seen. So one is the element of lasting over who? The lady that is the nearest. That was lust. Because you lust over something, you don't just become one without not just anyhow. You must desire it. It's a normal nature of a man, as we've seen where we were reading about Dinah and Shechem. So what kills Onan? Two things: accepting to follow the advice of the dad, who's Judah, and he's accepted very fast, and he does the same thing that Jacob did, the same thing that Abraham did. Only Isaac, as at now, did not do it, and Joseph won't do it, but he accepted it. So there's an element of lust that kills Onan, because that element of lust, that thing that is inside him, burning every day and fueling him towards Tamar, the wife of the dead firstborn brother. That one. Then he goes ahead, and Tamar also has a key role to play here. You see, who initiates it? The father. Who entertains the spirit? The father and the son. Judah and Onan. And then Tamar has no choice. Joins the bandwagon. Tamar also could have said no and follow the traditions that are there, or rather better things, if you may. But Tamar also accepts. So both of them now become one, halfway. But now there's a certain thing that strikes Onan and makes him dead. The spilling of the seed. Now that's where we want to focus on today, because now that's where we get the aspect or the element of masturbation. And masturbation is dangerous, and it's something that kills. Now it kills you in the spirit first. It kills everything in the spirit, everything. And then when it comes to physical, when you're seeing the results in the physical, you're also already dead in the spirit. When you're seeing the results in the physical, aspects like financial struggle, excess toiling, withdrawal syndromes, there's all manner of scientific explanations. Those of you who practice it know what I mean. Yes, you know yourselves. Okay, that's it. So now masturbation goes two ways. I will paint this picture for you so you can understand it very clearly. Whatever Onan did is equitable to masturbation. Actually, the word is more or less the same. Onanism, masturbation correlate together. So why is masturbation a bad thing? You all know it. I don't need to define it. You can search it on the search engines. At this point of this recording, we have Google, so I don't know at the time what you will have, but the word will be remain the same. The same thing doesn't change. Okay, so the element here of onanism is a spilling of the seed to the ground, but there is also the element of Tamar partaking in the action. Okay. So when the two come together, then there's a spilling of the seed on the ground. Now let's see the picture of masturbation. When, don't worry, I'm not going to paint you gross images in your head, but just going to be as biblical as possible. Okay? So, at what time does someone think about masturbation? It is when there's the element of lust, because you are thinking about the whole act of copulation. And then you want to do this act of onanism when you are alone. Have you seen it? So if you are male and you are in the thoughts of lust, partaking in pornography, watching things that pertain to pornography. Now, male or female, I want to stick on this nice trail so you can have a very, very, very clear picture. You see, what started the whole thing, if for those who partake it and for those who have it, what starts the whole process up to the point that you are performing the act alone, whether you are male or female? There's the element of lasting over something, over someone. Okay, now how and when on how did you see this thing that is coming out to your mind? I don't want to be so psychological and be scientific, but something caused you to be thinking about lasting about someone. So someone did put you in this zone, okay, or in this mood, if we may. So for Onan and Tamar, there's the element of Tamar being around, and there's the element of Tamar might have been seducing Onan. Okay, so causing Onan to have a difficult time deciding whether to tell the father no. So in your case, you either saw, if you are a guy, if you are a man, you either saw a woman naked in pornography, that is one, or you saw a woman dressed in a provocative manner. So those two avenues of images stuck to your mind, and then you started to process them and imagining them, and then you're lasting over them, and then you build that thought, you build that thought until you're now alone and you have to do something that we call onanism or masturbation, so that you can fulfill the whole act of copulation alone on your own. So there's that part. So someone caused you to stumble. Okay. So when it comes to masturbation or onanism, if we may, the blame in the kingdom of God would be to the element that is causing you to have those images in your mind. And this element is the element of pornography and people dressing provocatively or indecent, nearly naked. So you've been seeing naked. So now at this age of 2025, we have what we are calling social media. So you're a man, take your smartphone, and all the time, and you're dated, my friend, if you're human, let's say you're human and you're male, because it's male and female. So you are a male and you're human. It doesn't matter whether you're president, you're a priest, pastor, bishop, chairman, CEO. It does not matter, teacher. You are a male, you are female. It does count. That's why I've taken this element of the video carefully and slowly, just to teach you about this for free. So you've taken your smartphone, you grown up, or you young man, and whomever has a smartphone. So you've taken your smartphone. You know, if I'm talking to you, you know. So you've taken your smartphone and you've gone online. And as you scroll, in 2025, you're calling is calling. I don't know whether your age, what you'll be doing with the internet, because right now we have VR, I don't know what technology will be there. I don't know. But the point is, you have taken your devices and now you're scrolling to get information from the internet or from the sources that you will have then. So you're right now, let me talk about the internet. So you're scrolling up, or however. So as you look for news, then there are adverts. As you look for adverts, then elements of nakedness come. You'll see a lot of naked women dancing. So it pulls you step by step. So it creates this image on you. So you will stumble on one lady that is naked, half naked. Then you will want more, full, until now you end up now as a master of looking for naked elements. Then that's how you end up in pornography, all right, to excite yourself, and as I told you, it's a slippery slope because it's something that the eye, if you're a man, it's something that you will always want to see. Okay, but it's a slippery slope. It's something that made Eve convince the husband, or rather Adam, to take the fruit. Okay, you who are in this process, you understand the slippery is a very, and that's how the devil likes it. Tempting, just give you one dose, kidogo, one, then you see one, hey, tomorrow you'll see another, then see, and now the algorithm in these sites and social media and all are very nice, because when you linger on one page for a certain amount of time, it will give you more of those. They have some certain demonic element, okay, in the algorithm, that it's a demonic, because that's how the devil works. But now, if your smartphone has, if you are into cooking ware, plates, houses, if you've lingered on those much, then you'll get more of those in your smartphone feed. But if you linger on these naked items, it will give you what you want. So you are what you are taking, that's what you get. Okay. So now there's the element of Tamar, which is in that perspective, pornography and people being displayed to you naked. So the more nakedness you see, the more of those illicit material you see, the more of those ideas come to you, and then you get to pollute your soul in that manner, and then you get to desire to do this thing, and then you actually do it when you are alone, one way or another. It has happened to so many young people, and we have to teach it like this so that you can understand. The good thing is that you know what I mean. All right, I need not go into the explicit material because this is social media and we have to respect, the internet as it is. But you understand at least what I'm trying to portray here. So now there's the element of that. So this happens to the male, and it can happen to the female as well. Whatever you are viewing every day, if you're in the office and there's one man who is dressed in a provocative manner, that image will always stay with you. If you are browsing and you get content that is provocative, the image will stay with you. The same way when someone goes and watches a horror movie and the image stays with them until now you are dreaming with them. Very good. So here you are doing it in the physical and it's happening in the spiritual. Okay. There are so many angles which now we will come to expound on when we are talking about spirits in a later forum. But you've partaken of pornography and you've gotten spirits jumping from those people you're viewing to your soul. So you get all manner of marine spirits, you'll get all manner of spirits, okay? And these things now will come. You will get manner of spirits, demonic spirits. So you'll get so many of these, and now these ones, this is now elements of the devil in you. And these spirits will now push you to the act of onanism, okay? So there's the element of the one who has made you to stumble, and that's it. And that's the prayer which we made in the past video, that the content on the internet be regulated, and anyone who's who has this explicit material. Okay, and the prayer is that this explicit material doesn't reach our children and the masses. Actually, it doesn't reach anyone, so that the society can be a bit moral, in a way that like it used to be in the olden days, where you get married and this is the first time you're discovering these things, and you enjoy your life with your spouses and all that. But now it's just terrible, from the music industry, from everything. I think in the next 10, 20 years, everything will be just 80% naked. you know and then in cultures where you're going into the beach and everyone is half naked or 80-70% naked, that's a culture. I don't know how it will be in 100 years if now it's like this. But all I'm trying to say is that the more a male looks at a naked figure of a female, the more they are attracted to them by way of lust. The more a female looks at a male figure naked or half naked or whatever, the more then they are attracted to that element of the male in lust manner. So, you see here, you will tell yourself, I am not committing adultery. I am not going to have an affair with any woman. Or if you're a lady, I'm not going to have an affair with any man. And I'm not sinning. So now that's where I want to come and show you something Jesus Christ now is teaching. Because Jesus Christ is God, and he understood that people are binding themselves spiritually by way of lust. So I have to tie the element of onanism, masturbation, lust together, because they all fall under the umbrella of the 7th commandment, which is now more refined by Jesus Christ. Okay, let's look at a couple of verses, and then now we'll see why it is dangerous to actually partake of onanism. It actually kills. Okay, but remember, let's see the verses first. I will read you all of those verses that are in Matthew where Jesus is mentioning this thing. Let's start with Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. My table is very, very small. Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. It like this. Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Let me see where I can find it there. Let's look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time. The whole time. Jesus Christ can find all the written documents in dust. Of old time. The Moses, the Elijahs. So ye have heard, let's just begin. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart or her heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. Okay. Pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body shall be cast into hell. Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of the members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Okay. I'm not going to touch on 31 or 32, but it had been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement, But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery. You see now the whole thing. Okay? You see now. Let's not dwell on verse 31, that I'll teach that when we reach here, because we will have looked at several other verses talking about divorce. But in this case of Onan and Tamar, Onan was killed. No, sorry. Ero was killed. So that Onan and Tamar were one-ish. Huh? Alright. So God here is talking about the element of lust. So when you are now partaking of onanism, which you understand the other word, which is masturbation, when you're taking part in that activity alone, you are either lasting, you are definitely lasting over someone. And here you are committing adultery in your heart. And you've already entertained several other spirits. We will have a session and I will explain to you these types of spirits which you are entertaining. You know, some of them marine, some of them what, and so many, you'll get a lot of let me just put it as simple as this. Whomever you are lasting over, that one that you have in your mind, you've already become one with them in the spirit. Now, immediately after you finish the activity of partaking of this, when you now go to sleep, you'll have a wonderful experience of seeing them in the dream. And you will end up with someone we are calling a spiritual husband or a spiritual wife. So, whatever you're doing in the physical, it affects your spiritual. And the spiritual life controls the physical. So here you've already married yourself off to the man whom you're lasting over, and you've already married yourself off to the woman whom you're lasting over. And these spirits are very dangerous because once you're joined, they can never allow you to marry physically or even get closing to start dating physically. So if you're a woman and you want to date and you have these spirits in you, whom you entertain and they are in you, getting a man is very difficult. You'll always try and the man will go. You will never marry. The man that you are with, the man in your spirit now, that one that you see in your dreams, will not allow you to marry in the physical. Because whom will he stay with in the dream? Vice versa, likewise for the woman. The man, for the women, for the men, the woman that you are lasting over in the spirit, in the physical, will be bound with you in the spirit. And they will come in that phase, but essentially it's a demon. They will not let you marry. And they will tie everything. They will make sure that they will tie you in one place, tie your finances so that you cannot afford to pay dowry to the lady that you want to marry in the physical. They will tie you, they will tie your family, they will even kill. They will kill your sibling. Everyone proposing that you start marrying, they will kill. They will kill. So it's a whole quagmire it's a whole legion of demons that you are really entertaining. And we will teach more about it. Because when God says you have already committed adultery with her in the heart, it's a spirit now. You have already become one. Now let's proceed and see. Let me see whether Matthew 15 can give us something interesting for you. Let me see whether Matthew 15 can give me something interesting for you. So by now, I think you understand why it is dangerous to do masturbation and onanism, whatever you want to call it. Oh, before I read it, for those who are married and you are performing the act of onanism as a way of contraception, it's a dangerous thing. Please wait for God to kill you now, because it's a thing I can't explain it much because it's a simple thing that is now illustrated in that part where I've just mentioned about Onan being killed. The thing displeases God, and God will kill you, and He will now kill you slowly, slowly. For those of you, there are some they may kill immediately, an accident or something, but then the others will now become drying like a log. You start drying. You no money, no job, no nothing, no nothing, no nothing, no children. You even now break up with the partner. So please don't ever use it as a source of, as a means of contraception, because as I explained, you are interfering with the process of procreation, and God hates that. Okay. So let's see whether Matthew chapter 15 verse 1 to 20 can give us something. Let me see. Yeah, we can pick something here. Let me see whether I can get something here. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the... Now, the other previous verse which we had read was Matthew chapter 15 verse 27-32. It mentioned about plucking of the eyes. That's very important. This is why I'm teaching this thing, so that my prayer to you, given the authority we have been given by the Holy Spirit, is that the Holy Spirit can help you to how to take the decision to pluck, not physically. Don't go and cut your wiener or don't cut your reproductive organs or puncture your eye. No, it means that you take control, and if you have to convert from smartphone to analog so that you don't be tempted, you do it, or you get help from your spouses to help you to stop watching pornography, or to stop partaking of the elements that are causing you to do this sin, that is adultery. Okay, so it's when God says that is an element of stopping. So literally, do away with your phone, do away with that thing that is making you be tempted to do that. Okay, if you are walking in the city and you see people who are provocatively naked, avoid looking. Do your best. You are a man and you are a woman, is difficult, but do your best. If you find yourself, just pinch yourself and do it. And this is now where God comes in with the Holy Spirit, so that He can speak to you and remind you, hey, stop it. Don't do it. It has repercussions. It will kill you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And you see how it is hard for you to do it? There is an aspect where you want to look at it from the person who is provoking you to do it. And that's what we will see in the verses, and I will tell you what's in store for everyone that is causing other people to stumble. Because there's someone who's causing it. Had it not been there, then had the snake not been there in the Garden of Eden, then even Adam would not have stumbled. Now that's where the element of the devil comes in. You don't see the devil as the way you see in horrors. No. People being exercising and little girl doing weird shit, like weird shivering, and turning of the head and being all scary. No, the devil does not look like that. This is where the devil is. The one that is making it. Just go ahead. Don't worry. But God will always be there to tell you, stop it. Don't look at it. Be strong. David, be strong. Don't look at Bathsheba. Don't do it. Don't send Uriah to die. Don't. But the devil like, go ahead. So let's see Matthew chapter 15 verse 1 to 20. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, It is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Excuse. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, These people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoureth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude, and said unto them, Hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man. It's okay, let's read. We'll get something out of this. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth defileth a man. Then came his disciples and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, Every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. That's the authority you get, okay, for overcoming these things that you've already piled upon yourself. Okay. Verse 14, Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Declare unto us this parable. And Jesus said, Are ye also yet without understanding? Do not yet understand that whosoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile a man. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashen hands defileth not a man. I was going for the verse 19 in relation to the previous verse that we had already read about lasting in the heart. Because now, once you do it, then you will convince someone else. It's the same way now that Onan did convince Tamar. Confusing. So once you partake, it's very easy for you to do. And the lady is not that strong in spirit. Okay? So let's see another verse. Let's see if something I can pick. We have to teach you this thing today so that you don't do it again. For your own good. Let me look at now whatever I read in Matthew chapter 15 Matthew chapter 5 verse 27 32 regarding adultery and the new teaching will be the same repeated in Mark and Luke somehow. Okay, but I will have to read you all these verses so that we can pick something, so that when you're done you have a whole picture of the whole element that we are trying to teach here. Okay, let me see what you can get from Matthew chapter 19 verse 1 to 8. I have understood how I wrote them. Chapter 19 verse 1 to 8. Teachings on divorce. I will just read it. It's okay. We will come back again in a section of the videos, but it's fine. And it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coasts of Judea beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto him, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? Again, Jesus Christ is emphasizing male, female, no other genders, please. And said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Exactly what had happened between Tamara and Er. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. They say unto him, Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery, and whoso married her which is put away doth committed adultery. His disciples say unto him, If the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. But he said unto them, All men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. We will expound much more when we reach that point, but at least you're getting the idea of Jesus Christ teaching about this thing. Let me look at that's beautiful. Let me now look at other perspective. For we've seen the perspective of lasting and fornicating and adultery as far as Jesus Christ is concerned. But we'll read more of this when we get to this parts of when we reach to these ends of the Bible as we are doing this topic. Let me just take you now to the perspective of the people that are calling people now that are provoking, the elements that are causing you to do this thing. Because had them not been there, then you would have been as pure as cotton, as white as snow. If I say as white as snow, white, I don't know, cotton. But let me see. Matthew chapter 18, verse 6 to 7. Matthew chapter 18, verse 6 to 7. Verse 6 to 7. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the deep depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offenses cometh. This just tells you something. As you are called little children of God, because to God we are all children. Anyone that causes you to fall, verse 7 applies to you. So, anyone partaking of this business of pornography, verse 7 applies to you. Anyone that is dressing provocatively, be it male or female, verse 7 applies to you. Okay? Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come. But woe to that man by whom the offense come. Okay? And it continues to say, you can read it from verse 8 to 9 and get a whole sense of it. Let's look at Matthew 18, 8 to 9. Sorry, Matthew 16, verse 23. Don't worry, there is a pattern here we are looking at. Matthew 16, verse 23. Let's see what is there. Matthew 16, verse 23. Matthew 16, verse 23. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan, thou art an offense unto me. For thou savourest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men. All right? Now, I don't know whether this is the right example. You want to make that decision. This verse can give you an angle where you want to make that decision. Where if you are a man and you are, we'll get these verses in Proverbs, very nice ones. If you are a man and you are almost beginning to be tempted, you want to remember this part, okay, so that you can use this verse to help you to push forward and to avoid that kind of talk that will make you fall. But in this case, of course, Jesus Christ was talking about Peter, and he was in his whole process of heading to the cross. Okay, so that's it. But when we now reaching these sections, it'll make more sense of it. Let me see whether you can learn something from Matthew 18, verse 8 to 9. That one I've already read. Matthew verse 5, 29 to 30. Let's see what's there. Matthew verse 5. Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, verse 29 to 30. Let's see what's there. 29 to 30. 29 to 30. Matthew chapter 5, verse 20. That one I've already read for you. Okay. Matthew chapter 13, verse 41. Matthew chapter 13, verse 41. Let's see. Matthew chapter 5, verse 29 to 30 is now helping you to make that decision to put these elements that are making you to perform onanism away. Okay. Let's see Matthew chapter 13, verse 41. Let me see what's there. Now I'm looking for the stumbling blocks. The other people who are causing you to stumble. Matthew chapter 13, verse 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Again, this is the portion of the elements or the people who are causing others to fall, by this manner. Okay, and again, these are the elements which I'm now talking about, where you are seeing so many people naked online, elements of pornography, and those who are actually doing it, because you are causing someone else to stumble in the thought that you are actually, and many ladies are doing this in the thought that in the quest to get fame, but they do not know that they are causing others to stumble, and this is the portion that will apply to them, and it's very, 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 very well explained. Okay, so those that are causing others to stumble. That's the portion. Matthew chapter 13, verse 41, 42, 43. Let me see what is in Mark chapter 9, 42 to 47. Let me just see there. Then we can get back to the story of Onan and Tamar. Mark chapter 9, 42, 47. Mark chapter 9, 42, 47. Again, it's the same story about not offending the little ones and not causing the little ones. And by little ones, they are, the people in the kingdom of God are people who've already gotten born again long time ago, and they are able to withstand all manner of temptations. Not all, but they are a bit strong. But if you now, someone who just went and gave their life to Jesus Christ on a Sunday, and then on a Monday, that man is already delivered, or that woman is already delivered. Then on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, someone comes and tries to seduce them again. Now you will see the weight of the wrath of God upon these elements. Okay. 42, 47. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he were cast into the sea. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed, than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Where they are warm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter halt into life, than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Verse 46. Where they are warm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. Jesus Christ is even doing this twice so that you see the seriousness of it. And if thine eye offended thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of God with one eye, than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire. Where they are warm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. Again, the things here we are talking about are in spirit. Cutting your own hand is in spirit. Okay? Cutting your own hand does not kill your lust. You making that decision to not hold onto the thing that are pulling you there, that is the thing. Addicted to pornography, then avoid the smartphones, avoid the phone. Make it a habit until now you cannot, and then do it together with prayer. You have to. This kind of powers are only available to those who believe in Jesus Christ. Okay. Yes, you want to go to. We'll teach about more on witchcraft, where in the world of witchcraft, you're just given demons to help you to perform a certain action, but they want something in return. So that can't work for you. Okay. We've seen the repercussions now of both sides. The one that is performing this act of onanism, and the one that's promoting it, or helping this other, or tempting, causing this one to do onanism. Let me look at Luke 17:2 and see whether we can find something good there that can help you. Luke 17:2. Luke 17:2. Luke 17:2. Luke 17:2. These words spake Jesus, and lifted up his eyes to heaven, and said, Father, the hour is come, glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee. Verse 2. Oh, sorry, this is John. Sorry. Luke 17:2. Luke 17:2. Luke 17:2. Yes. Then said he unto the disciple, It is impossible but that offences will come, but woe unto him through whom they come. It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. I think that makes that makes the story very interesting. That makes the story very interesting with regards to Genesis chapter 38, 6 to 30. Where we are talking about these people called Judah, Onan, Er, and Tamar. Okay. That's it. 38, 6 to 30. So now, that's why we had to pause a bit at verse 10. And now we'll go to that verse again. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. And that's why Onan dies. The thing he did with Tamar, accepting to do it, and the thing he does with the seed kills Onan. So up to this level, please understand, onanism, masturbation, is wrong. It is not allowed. It displeases God. It kills you. God kills you. And the death comes in the spirit. And your death is there's the effect that you carry so many demons in you. Alright? And then they will dry you up physically, financially, everything, in all aspects. And you are bound just to die. So it's a very, very way easy. This is the way where the devil likes it the most, because it takes people to hell very, very fast. So don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Give your life to Jesus Christ. Let him help you to overcome, because you have the power through him to overcome anything in this world. Okay? And to the people who are causing other people to fall by way of seducing, also stop, change. Be mindful that there are other people around you. Dress decently. Stop sharing or stop exposing yourself naked online. Okay, just stop it. Don't do it. You are doing something that will kill you as well. You might think that you are making money out of it, getting fame, but it will kill you as well. You are actually a marked person, man or woman, by God. Alright? Death will come to you very, very fast in so many ways. Okay? And it is harmful to you, because you will find it very difficult to get married, because of the heavy loads of spirit that you've carried in your own realm of spirit. Okay? So both sides apply. Man or woman performing the act of onanism or masturbation alone, wrong. God does not like it. It displeases God. The one that is playing the role of Tamar also has a problem, because of the various verses we've read in, because of causing other people to stumble. So the thing goes ways. This thing is cutting both ways. I hope by now you understand where you stand. Take action and change something. Let's proceed verse 11, because I have to finish this chapter 38. Then we can probably end there. I'm not going to touch on Joseph today. We'll see. Let's see verse 11. Now see what Judah does. Then said Judah to Tamar his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son, the last-born son, be grown up. For he said, lest peradventure he die also as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Judah suspected there's a pattern here, and has told now Tamar to go home and wait for them. Now, you see, Judah is still now thinking Tamar will also accept this deal. They make a nice deal. Tamar goes home, wait for the son to grow up so that he can come and marry. What a weird thing, because this is will be older than Shelah. Okay, and it is just a weird thing in terms of incest. It's just weird, but Judah proposes it, and Tamar still accepts it. Okay. Tamar is from Canaan. And now, in the verse 12, and in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. The way it's written here, because Shua is Judah's wife, and the daughter of Judah is a bit confusing, but you'll get him. There's the wife that Judah dies. And Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath, he and his friend Hira, the Adulamite. Now, this Hira, the Adulamite, plays a key role in. I've talked about this in my previous videos, where there's an element of the wrong friendship, of wrong friends, where this Hira is advising Judah wrongly. Look at what Hira tells Judah to do. I want to pray for you so that you don't end up with such friends who will cause you to do such mistakes. Okay. See. And it was verse 13, and it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. Tamar has waited until Shelah is all grown. But now she has seen that she is not being given this boy to marry. The body is burning. What Tamar does next inspires the element of lust between both Tamar and Onan before the death of Onan. Listen. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot because she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way and said, go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? Isn't Tamar doing the same thing that Lot did with the thing that happening between Lot and the two daughters? So Tamar here is now a prostitute. And the target of the prostitute is his father-in-law. And he said, verse 17, so now they are negotiating the price. It's now an act of prostitution where you know how this thing goes, and if you know what I mean. And this is in the Bible, So it goes way back. And he said, verse 17, and he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet, and thy and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And that's how Tamar fell finally gets pregnant. Judah does not do this thing we're calling onanism, even with a prostitute, as a means of what is the term? Birth control means whatever that term is. So Tamar gets pregnant. Verse 19, and she arose and went away and laid by her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adullamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not, that friend. And it's not recorded whether the friend does these things. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. And they turned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said, that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah, this harlot is prostitute, And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also behold, she is with child by whoredom. Because she's not married, so she got pregnant from prostitution. So everyone knows. Okay, and Judah said, bring her forward and let her be burnt to death. To death. If we pause there, there's the element of death that follows prostitution. And we'll teach more about this if we get time. Because if for the lady who is practicing, because a male and a female can practice prostitution. So you are gathering a lot of, so you are pairing up. If you are a female, you've paired up with one man, second man, so many men. I've seen in the internet one lady who was paired up or slept with over 1,000 men. If she only knew what she was doing in the realm of the spirit, she would not have done it. Because as we speak, for the prostitute to lay, that's not a prostitute. By prostitute means someone, you're exchanging these elements of copulation for money. You understand? You can Google it, search it. But this one has already, so this lady has, the lady now, you are partnering with one man, another man. So you are now marrying people in the spirit without you knowing. So if you are a lady and you are partaking of prostitution, you have paired up with all the men that you've slept with since you started doing it. You will see them in your dreams. So you have your whole nation. And the amount of deaths that you've committed by them using, I've used this term of birth control, I don't know. That word is not coming. If the men have been using protection and you haven't gotten pregnant, then you've performed the act of onanism, both of you. Okay, so now you have killed all the seed that are from all these men, and the weight of the way God is displeased upon your head is so hard, the weight is so heavy, so that death is just around you. You understand? Because so many people are also crying from that circle of the men whom you've displaced from their rightful marriages and all that. Okay? So there's that element. And of course, for the men who are now joined by this one lady, who the men, singular men who have slept with this one person over time, you've also carried a part of the lady as well. So there's a game of the spirits where you have bound yourself. and it does it. Okay, and this also brings an element of abortion as well. It's death, because it's the same. So when you're talking about abortion and onanism, are more or less connected the same. It's only that one, onanism it happens before the other. Okay, because both of them is the whole conversation about the Bible is seed, the element that makes the human being create another human being. Now you've killed that thing, and you've killed it through prostitution, whether you are male or female. Okay, also there's the killing of the seed, and then there's a burdening of yourself with other people in the spirit. And this mixture of things, the devil cannot take you out of it. You need to be born again, baptized, be taught the word until you receive the Holy Spirit. Okay, you will be delivered. But for you to maintain now your good life, you need to keep with the word and learn more. And the Spirit of God needs to teach you so you can understand. But it takes deliverance from you to move from being a harlot or a prostitution or a prostitute to being normal, the way you are meant to be, to being whole. Okay, that's it. So Jesus Christ comes with power to deliver us from this kind of thing. No one in the New Testament does this. Okay, has this power on the Old Testament, sorry. But Jesus Christ comes with this authority to deliver you. So there is hope for all. Tamar here was just lonely, and he was looking for a child to hide shame. You are a prostitute, you are lonely, and you're looking for money. But please remember that God is God, knows you, and can give you money in many other ways. Okay, so far as you just decide to serve Him and do the things that He likes and avoid the things that He doesn't like prostitution. So there's always hope for everyone. All right. And as a prostitute, even when you wake up in the morning, you will look up, you will see the sun. When I wake up in the morning, I will see the sun. I am here serving God to teach you, and I'm seeing the sun the same way you will see the sun tomorrow. God willing. Okay? So that will tell you that God loves you. Otherwise, He would have set the sun on your head. There's a verse about it. I can't remember it now, but I will find it for you. But that's the whole point. So, unless now you are willing to stay a prostitute, then as our conversation, terms and conditions will apply. But if you are willing to get out of it, it's possible. Thank God, it's possible. So let's see what happens here. God saves Tamar from death and turns the situation around. So today your situations will be turned. If you've been partaking of onanism, masturbation, and whatever, it doesn't matter. So far you say, stop, God help me, I want to turn. Hey, look at this story of Tamar. Verse 25, when she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are am I with child. And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these? The signet and bracelets and stuff. And Judah acknowledged them and said, she had been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more. Tamar does not die. Tamar becomes more righteous than Judah. Tamar does not sleep with Judah again. You know, when you get into the shoes of Tamar, it's a sad state. It was the responsibility of Judah's firstborn, It was the responsibility of Judah to teach the firstborn son about God. It was the responsibility of heir to learn about God. It was the responsibility of heir to teach their wife about God and maintain that marriage. But heir was killed. It was the responsibility of Judah to make sure that Onan does the right thing. The advice, I wouldn't say it was good, but Judah here didn't work it out well. And that's why now Tamar is none but the wiser. If that's how you say that statement, yeah. Look what happens. God does something here. Because, see, Judah and Tamar make a decision. They won't do it again. And remember, God gives women children. So the heart of Tamar was bleeding. Do you imagine now having to go and trap your father-in-law so that you don't play the harlot with someone out of that family? For the sake, so that people outside do not laugh at you. So that you can just get a child who is from that family. So that you can bring honor to your family. That was Tamar. I cannot begin to imagine the pain that was in the heart of Tamar. And this cry, the daily cry, it is not easy for Tamar. Yes, there's the element of lust, but just put yourself in the shoes of Tamar. There's the element of lust with the brothers. But when it came to the father, the guy is older. And you deciding you want to do it because every day she has been crying to the parents. Not recorded, but you can imagine crying to the parents with nothing to show, no child to show. Crying. She tried the first marriage, failed. Second marriage, failed. That is you. If that is you, there is hope. You don't have to go to the father-in-law. You just have to turn to God to make you whole and give you the right man. So Tamar here cries, and this element is what God looks at. It took a lot of courage for her. Yes, there's an element of lust, but it takes a lot of courage for a woman to do prostitution. It's not an easy thing. It's broken. You are broken beyond broken, so that you can now be. For you to do that thing, you're broken. I understand you're broken. But God is God that is able to take this piece that was broken and come and put you into one hole and give you light, give you a new life. All right. There are so many other instances of harlotry or prostitution in the Bible, and the whole point is that God always makes it whole. Okay. For those who are willing, because now here Tamar does one thing. After getting the child, there's no record of Tamar remarrying and proceeding. So Tamar makes that. There's no record where we're showing that she does something else. She just now protects the children and that's it, because she gets twins. Double portion, right? And for Judah, the drama ends here. There's no more record of Judah and this friend and harlotry. There's no other more record. Okay. Judah actually changes, and we'll see more when you read through Genesis. Now you'll see the role that Judah is playing with Joseph and Benjamin. So there's that turning of the lips. So there's hope, no matter how deep you are in the mud. That's the whole point of this video. So here, hope is like this. Verse 27, and it came to pass, it will always come to pass for you, in the time of her travail, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass, when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Phares. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zara. Phares meaning bursting forth or breaching, and Zara meaning dawning, shining, a new dawn. And that's how, look at the names, breaching forth and a new dawn. And out of this line of Phares, we do get David and Jesus Christ. You can see that in the book of Ruth, chapter 4, verse 12 and 18, and the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 3. That's it, man. So, that's it. We're going to explore other verses and expound more on this topic. That's why you had to watch it. And please remember to share it with a lot of people so that God can remember you and repay you. Because if someone else stumbles upon this knowledge and gets delivered, this person will remember you and tell God, thank you for this person who showed me this thing. And God will say, true. Let me say, like my true self, I will bless him also, or her. Okay? So, see you on the next part, which will be part 4, where we will touch on something called Genesis chapter 39.